So in this video, we are going to execute this code snippet. Executing this code snippet will help us understand call stack, event loop, web browser API, callback queue, all of it in a much better way. So in this code snippet, the first function we have is run while loop for n second. And what this function does, it runs a while loop for n number of seconds. So here, using date.now, we are able to get the start date, and we are defining another variable that is now that defaults to start. We are checking if now minus start is less than the second that we have passed in as parameter. Then you keep calling this function. So while loop will keep running for n number of seconds. That is the only use case of this function. And here we have another function that is main. And we are calling the main function here. So let's go ahead and start executing this code one after another. So we'll skip this definition and directly come to the last line. Here we are executing the function main. So what will happen? Main function will be pushed inside call stack. So we'll go ahead and add the function main here. As soon as main is added, it will create a function execution context. So we'll go ahead, add a function execution context. This is the function execution context of main. And when you call main, inside that function, we have a lot of other things. So let's start executing one after another. So right now main is being executed. And here inside main, the first thing we are doing is console log A. So another function call will be added on top of main. So we'll go ahead, add one here on top of main inside call stack. And this is console.log. And we are executing it with the message A. So it will get executed, and here inside console, we'll see the message A at 0 millisecond. The execution of console log is over, so we'll go ahead, delete this from call stack. After doing that, we'll move on to next line. And here we are using setTimeout. setTimeout is a browser API. So what will happen is all the details from here will be sent to web browser API, and it will take a note by adding this is a timer API, and what is the callback you have to call once it is completed. So I'll just copy this console log from here and we'll paste it here. Now, whether this is completed or not, so here we can see that setTimeout only has a time of 0. So as soon as you will add it, it will be completed. So we'll go ahead and mark this as completed. As soon as this is completed, what will happen? From here, it will move on to callback queue. So we'll paste it right here. So now the function console log B is waiting inside callback queue. But because there is still something inside call stack, we will not execute the function from callback queue. So the arrow will move from here to this line of code where we are executing run while loop for 3 seconds. Now think about what is going to happen here. On top of main, we are going to add a new function call that is run while loop for n seconds. So we'll call it run while. And here the value that we're passing is 3 seconds. And here we can see that while loop is a part of JavaScript. It is not a part of web browser API or something that will go outside from here and wait somewhere else. It will keep running here for 3 seconds straight. And by that time, the call stack is busy, and because call stack is busy, event loop will not put any code from callback queue into call stack. So it will keep running for 3 seconds. And after the completion of 3 seconds, the run while for n second will be deleted from here. So we'll delete that. And our arrow will move from here to the last line of the function main, that is console log C. But you should know that we have already passed 3 seconds. So now the function console log will get added on top of main. So this is again going to be console log. So this is console log C here. So the message C will be printed inside console, but this time the message will print after 3000 milliseconds. Because we have already wasted 3 seconds here by running this function run while loop for n second. So after 3000 milliseconds, we'll print the new message that is C. And after doing this, what will happen? Console log will be removed from call stack. Now, do we have any other lines to run? No, we don't have it. So what will happen? The function main will also get removed from call stack, and as soon as that happens, the execution context for main will also get deleted. And now what will happen, because call stack is empty and we have something waiting inside callback queue, event loop will take this function from here and put it inside call stack. And which function is this? This is a console log. And we are calling it with the value B. So at around 3001 millisecond, we'll see another value here, that is B. As soon as it will be printed, the call stack will be cleared. At the same time, the callback queue will also get cleared. So now we do not have anything waiting inside callback queue, neither we have anything inside call stack. So the output here we see is A, C and B. The first output we see is at 0 millisecond, second we see at 3000 millisecond, that is C, and at 3001 millisecond we see the value B. So can you see an interesting thing happening here? Even though in this function we were saying set timeout only for 0 second, but we got the output after 3 second. So what does it mean? It means that whenever you use setTimeout, the time you write here is the minimum amount of time that you pass. It is not like after that specific amount of time, the code will be executed. You want to test it? Let's go ahead and test it in console. So here we'll paste the code and press enter. What do we see? The first thing we see is A, and after 3000 millisecond, we'll see C and then we'll see B. So even if in the code we said that this code should be executed after 0 millisecond, it got executed after 3000 millisecond. And because of that, what we understood is the time that we pass inside setTimeout is the minimum amount of time after which the function will be executed. This is not totally accurate also, right? That we saw it here. After executing the code here, let's also go ahead and test this code inside the app that we use to visualize all these different elements like call stack, web APIs, callback queue and event loop using this app called loop. So here we have console, and what I'll do, I'll just increase the second here so we can just take time to understand what is happening here. So we'll make it 5 seconds. As soon as you click on run, the first thing that you will see is you'll get the message A, and then run while loop will run for 5 seconds. By the time this function is waiting inside callback queue. Only after 5 seconds, event loop will put it inside call stack and we'll see the message C, and after that we'll see the message B. So can you see it is working in exact same way that we are trying to create diagram here. So whenever you want to visualize anything in a better way, head on to this app that is at this URL and play around with different things. You'll have a lot of fun and you'll also get to learn multiple things. So in this way, what we learned executing this code is the time that you pass to set timeout is the minimum amount of time it takes to execute the code. And another important thing is, so when you write JavaScript and your code is taking a lot of time, in that way what is happening is you're making call stack busy. And because call stack is busy and JavaScript only has one call stack, nothing else will work inside your browser. You must have seen certain situation in which what happens when you write any kind of recursion function or a function that is taking a lot of time to execute inside call stack, your website will respond slowly. If you want to understand what is happening there, you are making call stack busy, and because call stack is busy, nothing else is working, and that's why it feels like your browser is frozen.